And you talked about deals that you signed, and obviously there were two of them in particular that, I guess, for lack of a better term, it sort of redefined the National Hockey League salary structure to some degree. And of course, Connor's 8-year deal that doesn't kick in until the year after this one at $12.5 million, and Leon's 8-year deal at $8.5 million that starts right now. When you've got two players making $21 million between them, or you will in a year, can you still build a Cup champion on that basis?
Well, redefining a salary structure is an interesting statement, Bob, and certainly when you look at the comps, in each case, it's not marginally close to those comps. I think you have to look at a comp. I'm not trying to defend either, by the way. I'm just saying, like, you have to look at the uniqueness of Connor.
Of course. And
then you have to look at really with Leon's case, you have to look at his position, his size, and his ability and his performance in the playoffs vis-a-vis his comp group. So, but they're high. They're high. The numbers are high, and if you look at it as a proportion of the upper limit, it's doable. It's been done on those same proportions. Yeah. It's been done because of a healthy rise in the salary cap. So when you look back and you reverse engineer, it's a healthy rise. I don't know if that's going to happen. So there's risk associated with using this model. But we're very comfortable with those two players. They're driven. They want to win. They're both humble kids, and we felt comfortable with it.
How closely did you look at what the Pittsburgh Penguins have gone through right from the time Crosby, Malkin, all the way through? And obviously, from their first Cup to the second, there was a pretty big gap in there. But how much did you study the Penguins in particular?
Well, we look closely at that group, and Jimmy Ray and then Jimmy both did a very good job in filling in the spaces, and very resourceful on mining for talent and for getting players with reimbursements, and they did a real resourceful job there. There's other teams that have used that model. We looked at teams with the high salaried players. Not just the Chicagos and the Pittsburghs, but other teams. I went through it, Bob, in Boston, not at that level, but you have to be cautious of a level of players, committing to a level of players. So it's going to take planning, and it's going to take and again, if the cap goes flat, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. But again, back to the best players, and we feel that those two are the best players.
And you talk about how much money it is, like the $21 million. It could have been more, because Connor's initial deal looked like it was going to be 13.25, if I remember correctly. And at some point, did he not come to you and just say, let's back this off a little bit?
I won't get into that. I mean, I saw those reports. I will agree with you, though, that it could have been higher and it could have been shorter term. And Connor from the get-go was, I want to be here. I believe in the city, the town, the team. So I think first and foremost, you look at that, the term. And it could have been more. It could have been significantly shorter term. And it's just when you first see the numbers, there's a wow. And trust me, doing the contract, it was like, it was more like an existing partnership, Bob, where you weren't really pulling any punches. You were just getting it all on the table.
Absolutely.
And credit to Connor, his family, and to Jeff, and to Daryl and Bob on our side. It was, that's how we presented the whole thing will be, and it was good. It was a living partnership that ended up in a deal. Now, a lot of money.
Well, hey, listen, it was a wow summer when it came to that, because I mean, Carey Price's deal set a whole new market for goaltenders. Connor set a whole new market for the very best player in the game. And as you said, Leon, a lot of people thought Leon's comparables were, Tarasenko and people in the sevens, but as you point out, a center playoff performance, and suddenly you find yourself at 8-5. And I don't know if it's true or not, but there was a general sense that McDavid's number influenced Leon's number. That that if McDavid's number wasn't done first and wasn't as high as it was, that maybe Leon's number wouldn't have been as high as it was. Was there ever any thought given to doing Leon first and just waiting? I know Connor wanted to get it done as soon as possible, but...
Yes, I mean the timing, but it really again, won't go into details on the negotiation, but we had been at Leon for a while.
Yeah.
So...